welcome to this week's episode of Making the Call. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving week to all of you from all of us here at Making the Call. I'm joined by Alex this week, maybe Trent as well. I don't know. He's kind of MIA at the moment. He might hop on. He might not. We'll see. But even if he doesn't, Alex and I are here holding on the fort. And this is Alex's last podcast until he goes international because and I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit. We were talking about it before we hit record, but his Thanksgiving trips are a little more exotic than most people's.
Yep, heading off to Milan, check out Pulisic this Saturday, and then hang out in Italy for a week, and a little bit of Switzerland.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about it. I wish I could be back. Italy, Switzerland, it's all just awesome. So I know you're gonna have a great time. All right, we got a lot to get to, Alex. We'll do our one big headline. We'll start with that. We'll get into the NFL. I don't even have it on the doc, but I think we're going to need to talk about some college football stuff at some point.
Yeah, it was a pretty chaotic weekend,
to
say the least.
So one big headline. How about you kick us off?
I think my one big headline is that I am evolving as a football fan. As an OU Seahawks fan, for the longest time, I was a offense guy first. Loved watching the offense, especially as an OU fan. Like, they might score 49 on us, but we're going to score 56 on you. But lately, that's not been my life, and I am just enjoying watching this defense on OU evolve, just completely destroy Alabama this week. We had 67 yards passing against Alabama and still beat them 24-3. So we just ran the ball for like 260 yards and then just hit them in the mouth on defense. Like, hit them in the mouth on both sides of the ball. It was beautiful. It was an old-fashioned football game. Norman was rocking finally for this was the first like Power 5 team they'd beaten all year in Norman, which is pretty crazy. And then the Seahawks on Sunday played a pretty ugly offensive game themselves. Scored a defensive touchdown though, 4 sacks on Kyler, 2.5 by Leonard Williams. He was balling, and it's just fun. Mike McDonald knows what he's doing. He got rid of the leading tackler and another linebacker that both our starting linebackers just completely off the team to start. But the last 2 weeks we've put in a rookie and picked up a guy from the Titans, Ernest Jones Jr., and they have both just been ballers. And the defense is looking good. Geno, we're going to get to Geno. I have a pretty good player comp for Geno, so stay tuned for that. But overall, I'm just enjoying the defense.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a weekend of defensive football for you as a Seahawks and Sooners fan.
Yeah, it was nice.
Because Alabama scored, what, 3 points, you said?
Yeah. So it was like the first time in forever they hadn't scored a touchdown.
So your two football teams this weekend gave up a combined 9 points.
Yes, sir. I didn't even think about that, but yep. No touchdowns.
Yeah,
2 field goals from the Cardinals, 1 field goal from them. Tied.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like that, I don't know. I feel like you're kind of seeing that trend across at least the NFL where these defensive, well, not even that, but like these defensive minded either head coaches or coordinators who come in, it takes their team, the players quite a while to learn the system, learn the ins and outs, and really start to gel. And like you're seeing that with, you know, McDonald's defense in Seattle. You're seeing that with Vic Fangio's defense in Philly. And
same with the Packers.
Same with the Packers. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, the Seahawks, we'll get into it more as we're kind of recapping the week, but I need your help to try to make sense of the NFC West because it's like the one division that I truly don't have a good read on. Like I look at the other 7 divisions and I'm like, okay, I know who's good. I know who's bad. NFC West, I have no clue.
Yeah. And I think it's partly the Seahawks' fault, but we'll get into it later.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my one big headline is that it's Thanksgiving week, which if you're a fan of college basketball means that it is feast week and you've got all these different invitationals, all these different tournaments going on, and it's just great. You've got the Maui Invitational, you've got the tournament in the Bahamas, Vegas Showdown, Players Era Festival. It's just already on Monday, Memphis beat number 2 UConn in overtime in the Maui Invitational. And then we're recording this Monday night, so in a little bit, number 4 Auburn versus number 5 Iowa State is going to tip off in Maui. Tuesday, we've got number 7 Houston versus number 8 Alabama in the Players Era Festival in Vegas. And then you've got number 1 Kansas versus number 12 Duke in the Vegas Showdown. Ooh. Wednesday, you've got the number 14 Creighton versus number 23 Texas A&M. And you've got the Maui Championship. And then Thursday, you got number 16 Indiana versus number 3 Gonzaga in the Bahamas. And then Friday, you've got the battle for Atlanta's championship. So lots of good basketball.
Lots of ball.
Lots of good top matchups. Even the not top matchups. You would have looked at that Memphis UConn game on the schedule and not really thought anything of it. And then Memphis ends up beating them in overtime. So there's just going to be college basketball on all the time, and it's going to be great. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm not really in my college basketball mode just yet, but hey, for the people who want to gamble midday, shout out.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. All right. I want to update a few things. So, we've got like the season-long contest on the bets. You had our first push of the season.
Yeah, should have taken the Bucks.
Yeah, so you had Vikings -3 versus the Bears, and of course they won by exactly 3. The scoreboard is Rosie's in first place at 7-5, and then you're at 6-5-1. Trent and I are at 6-6, and then Austin's at 4-8. So Austin is really kind of in trouble now, and it's going to be interesting.
Did we decide on the punishment at all?
Yeah, so loser will have to wear a wig for 10 episodes.
10. Wow.
However long that takes.
Yeah, Austin, that might take a year.
It might take 2. Yeah. And so Austin might be wearing a wig for quite a while. He's got a.
Do we get to pick the wig?
Yes, we do. We get to pick the wig. He's lost 5 straight bets. He is slumping.
Fade him.
Yeah, he is slumping. He had the Rams +3 versus the Eagles. Not even close. Not even close. So that's how that's going. And then I want to look at our preseason bets. We went through kind of the division previews. So we've already got one that has hit, courtesy of you. That was the Chiefs to be the last undefeated team in the NFL at 8-1. Shout out.
Right. Hate him now.
Yeah. Then the ones that have not hit, or we can already rule out that they're not, they either haven't hit or we know they're not going to hit. Austin had the Chiefs to score 1+ passing touchdown in every game at 4-1. Trent had the Bengals to be the 1 seed in the AFC at 6-1. I guess it's technically not official, but they're 6 games back at Kansas City with 6 games to go.
It's official.
Yeah. So there's that one. The one that is official is Rosie had the Steelers under 7.5 wins, and they already have 9, I think. Or do they have 8?
No, they're 8-3, I think.
8-3. 8-3. So that one hasn't hit. You had the Ravens score a field goal in every regular season game. Justin Tucker turned back to a pumpkin. But that was 14-1 odds. So it was a long shot. And then you had the Jags over 8.5 wins, and
they stuck.
That one's done. And then the ones that I'm going to go ahead and call is I had Anthony Richardson at 25+ passing TDs and 10+ rushing TDs. It was 9-1.
I mean, I will say he is developed. He's looking a little better.
He's looking a little better.
But yeah, he's not going to hit those numbers.
He's not hitting those. And then the last one that we can go ahead and call is Trent had Green Bay exact position in division 4th. The reason why I'm going to go ahead and call this, They're third, but they've got 4 games up on the Bears.
No, that's true. Yeah, the Bears.
So it's not impossible, but it's very unlikely.
Yeah.
Ones that I feel confident calling that we would get right is I had Dallas to miss the playoffs at plus 170. Feeling great about that.
Should have put the mortgage on that.
Yeah. Austin had the top 2 division order being Philly 1, Washington 2 at 7-1 odds. And
the division, yeah.
Feel great about that. And then the last one is I had Xavier Worthy over 4.5 receiving touchdowns. That was even money, and he's got 4. So he needs 1 more receiving touchdown the rest of the way.
Unless he doesn't get hurt, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Last one I want to update us on. The college football team draft we did.
Yeah, I think some of my teams are looking pretty rough.
So to remind,
it's been a wild year.
It has been. To remind the listeners, so Alex, Austin, and myself, we drafted college football teams that we thought could make the playoffs, but the caveat was we looked at their odds to make the playoffs, and the exercise was if you put $10 on each of these teams, who's going to make the most money? So it was to add a little more flavor versus, just going through and picking all the favorites, right?
Yeah, which wouldn't have worked out anyways, but yeah.
So Alex had Miami at plus 170, Memphis at 5-1, Oregon at minus 330, Oklahoma State at 7-1, and Georgia at minus 600. So you're getting Georgia and Oregon. I think that's obvious.
Yeah, and then maybe Miami, but they got to go through SMU.
Maybe Miami. Oklahoma State, no.
No,
and
they're
Memphis,
not even
no.
make a bowl game.
Yeah,
Memphis, yeah.
But you'll see the theme here as we go through it. Like there's a lot of Big 12 teams, and it was basically all of us trying to take bets on who was going to win the Big 12 because we knew only one was going to get in, but
yeah,
we didn't know who.
Isn't there a scenario where the Big 12 loses their bid if none of their teams are like ranked in the top 12?
Potentially, yeah. It's unlikely, but it could happen.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Austin had Clemson at plus 170, Ohio State at minus 650. Let's see. Yeah, Clemson plus 170, Ohio State minus 650, Missouri at plus 180, Texas A&M at plus 240, and LSU at plus 125.
So I mean, A&M is like his only hope left, right?
And Clemson, maybe.
Clemson, if Miami loses and then they beat SMU, yeah, I don't.
He had Ohio State minus 650, so he has that one.
Oh yeah. Well, if enough teams lose for Clemson, they could get it at large too.
That's true. Which could definitely happen. And then I had Utah plus 190. That's not happening. I had Kansas State plus 280. Yeah. That's not happening. I did have Penn State at minus 145 and Alabama at minus 105. Penn State feel good about Alabama on the fence. And then I had Liberty at plus 440.
No, Alabama's done with 3 losses and not going to an SEC championship game. There's no way.
I kind of think so too. Ones we missed out on, the SMU Ponies, Boise State.
Yeah, no one knew who Genty was before that podcast.
Yeah. No one knew they had, Eric Dickerson in the backfield.
Barry Sanders, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk some college football before we get into the NFL because that Saturday was just
nuts.
Crazy.
Yeah, all the SEC fans thought they had their get back. Illinois or Indiana was terrible, yada yada yada, and then chaos. Every SEC team lost, pretty much.
It was like the Lee Corso meme, the not so fast, sweetheart.
Yeah, not so fast, my friend.
Yeah.
Not so fast.
Because Indiana gets whooped by Ohio State. Just whooped. Yeah. Like they hung with them for a quarter and that was it.
And couple turnovers,
Does that, let's talk Indiana for a little bit. Does that result change how you feel about Indiana in terms of their belonging in the college football playoff?
Probably not, just because of what happened right after, but when it originally happened, yeah, I thought they were sort of screwed. But
Okay.
after everybody else lost, I think they still have a chance to get in as an at-large 11-1 team. I mean,
Yeah. No, that's fair. I do think one of the things that
yeah, their strength of schedule is tough.
it is, but I do think I don't know. I think one of the things that we get guilty of with college football is overweighting the results late in the season versus the
hmm
results in September,
Yeah, recency bias definitely.
because it's like so Indiana's not deserving, which, like you said, based on what happened in the SEC, I think Indiana's certainly back in it. But let's say Ole Miss beats Florida, which I mean, Florida loss, I don't even think is that bad compared to the other ones. So let's just say Alabama beats Oklahoma and A&M takes care of Auburn. Like, even if those
Wait,
two things happened.
A&M already that you're looking at last week's schedule because A&M already lost to Auburn and Alabama
No,
already
that's what
lost
I'm
to.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I'm going
okay,
back this past weekend. Yeah, yeah.
my bad.
So I'm saying, imagine A&M beats Auburn, and imagine
Okay.
Alabama beats OU, and now we're having the Indiana discussion with those two things. Like,
Well, yeah, then it's a little different. I'd probably lean towards the SEC teams with 2 losses, honestly, just because of that. The schedule difference is daunting.
it is, but like the problem that I have would be like the Notre Dame discussion. Like, why is Notre Dame more deserving over
So yeah, that would
Indiana?
be more of a discussion than the SEC teams in that scenario, I think, because Notre Dame lost to a crappy
And
MAC
IU,
team.
but it was week 2,
Yeah,
so it's like everyone's forgot about it.
which is sort of crazy in its own right, but I think that's part of the Notre Dame propaganda and why they don't want to be in a conference. They're their own
Yeah.
thing. They're only on NBC, yada yada yada. Jason Garrett,
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Jason Garrett. Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. It's, I think Indiana's a really good football team. I don't think they're as good as like Ohio State or Oregon,
Yeah,
but
I will say one thing about Indiana is Signetti's he's got to relax or he's going to become a hated coach real quick.
yeah,
It's getting a little cringe worthy. Like, take your licks, shut up, adjust, and perform on the field. Like, yeah, you've won everywhere you've coached, but this is the first time you've been in the FBS level. Like, relax.
that's fair.
Especially like I wouldn't say that if it was a player who had that type of moxie, but as a coach, you're just asking for bulletin board
I
material.
mean, okay, in his defense, look at what he did at James Madison last year and what he built with that program.
Yeah, and he, like I said, it's all been backed up, but there's levels to this, and he's in a brand new level, and it's facing Ohio State, talking that type of smack. I don't. It was a recipe for obviously not success. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
I do wonder how different that Ohio State game is if they don't fumble the
Yeah,
punt.
the that punt, and I think even right before that they made another didn't they fumble or something? Gave him a short field.
Um well,
Something
that was
else
the
crazy
fumbled punt where
happened
they gave
before.
it to him on like the 10, but they
Yeah,
had
but there
another.
was some before the punt that was a miscue, and then there was the miscues just started to snowball a bit.
Well, and I mean, yeah, and then, to start the third quarter, they give up that 79-yard punt return to Caleb Downs.
Oh yeah, but by that time, pretty much the game was over. But yeah,
So it was 38-15. Like, Ohio State certainly dominated,
oh yeah,
but it's like there's always, even in those lopsided matchups, there's a few plays you can point to, be like, man, if you would have just done your job here, maybe it's different. Maybe,
who does Indiana have coming up for the last game?
They will be playing uh who do they have? Purdue,
Oh,
who's 1-10, 0-8 in the Big
yeah,
Ten.
that's not going to tell us anything.
No,
Even
they're
if it was
favored by
Nebraska, it
29
would
and a
have told
half.
us something. But yeah, Purdue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do like, I don't know. It's the whole Big Ten SEC argument. I like, as a neutral observer, as a fan of a Big 12 team, who I'm just like, hey, basketball season's here. Whatever happens with this sport you guys call football is fine.
Yeah.
I'm worried more about, yeah, Baylor basketball,
Yeah.
but
I think the Big Ten has a leg up this year. I think it's a little bit stronger. Like the
yeah.
SEC has a bunch of good teams, but I think Austin mentioned this. There's no gauntlet SEC team this year, like the 2019 Tigers, the 2022 Georgia Bulldogs. Like there's no one like that where it's just
Mm-hmm.
this is an NFL team. Like nothing crazy. Like if you play to your matchups, you can be in the game with anybody in the SEC.
Yeah. Well, and if you want to criticize the SEC and you're a Big Ten fan, one thing you have over them is, hey, why do you only play 8 conference games?
Oh
Big Ten
yeah.
plays 9, ACC plays 9, like, or just ACC only play. No, ACC plays 8. Sorry. Um,
Is it the Big? I think the Big Ten is the only one who plays 9.
yeah. Okay. But yeah, play ninth. Like, there's no reason why you go back
Yeah,
to,
especially with the expanded conferences now.
especially with the expanded conference.
Get
Like,
rid of that mid. Like this is the first time I've really dealt with the mid-season bye week. We played Maine like week 10, and it's just like
yeah, Alabama played
no.
Mercer.
Yeah, I agree. Let's play. If we really want to be the best of the best, we play all these tough games. Let's just add another tough game.
Honestly, get rid of the FBS games at the start of the season too. Like,
Yeah, well,
you've
I
got
don't
these.
know. I think that has more merit. It's more of a tune-up game. It's still 110 degrees out here in September, so let's just play down a little bit down to our
Or maybe do
competition,
one
run some routes.
FBS. Like,
Yeah, they have in the FBS they get paid for that and all that, so it has its merits. And
yeah,
every
it's
once in a while, you got like the Appalachian State beating Michigan in the Big House, and that's awesome. That's part of college football.
yeah, you just have these, like, I don't know, 18 team conferences that it's like
Yeah,
you gotta fit in more conference games if you're gonna have these mega conferences. You know what I mean? Because now you look at Indiana, where Indiana, outside of their game this weekend against um, Ohio State, like, go look at their record, and it's like all the bottom feeders of the Big Ten. You know,
no, yeah, Indiana's outside of Ohio State has played the bottom 8. It's
but
crazy.
they didn't know Michigan was going to be down. They didn't know Washington was going to be down.
True.
Like, they have these good teams on their schedule. It's just that the teams aren't good, or these teams that were supposed to be good that aren't good, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's shift gears to the SEC.
Yes. Means more.
Shut up. Stupid.
2 conference
Um,
wins, baby.
the teams that lost on Saturday. So Ole Miss, Alabama, and Texas A&M. Do any of them still belong in the college football playoff?
Yeah, A&M still has a chance with only 2 losses. If they beat Texas, they're in the SEC championship game, which is just an extra cherry right there. Like,
Well, A&M has
but
3 losses, but only 2 in the conference. They
okay,
lost to
so
Notre
yeah, that's
Dame
why they're
week
still in
1.
the hunt for the championship game. But yeah, I think the other 2 teams are out. Like Ole Miss, they have some pretty bad losses in the SEC. Like they lost to Kentucky, they lost to LSU, who's looking worse and worse every week. And then Alabama, they lost to Vanderbilt. They lost to
Tennessee
OU and
or
Tennessee.
yeah, in Tennessee, yeah.
Yeah, it was Tennessee. But it's also Jalen Milroe on the road is terrible. He He doesn't look like a good quarterback. He looks like the definition of a running back who can throw. Like I know that's like a bad or an old man take, but it's what he looks like.
Well, it's fine when you use it for on Jalen Milroe. It wasn't cool when people were saying it about Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
There's levels to this.
What was that dude? It was like Bill something.
Bill Polian, I
Oh,
thought.
yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that Alabama deserves to be in.
No.
I don't think Ole Miss deserves to be in. Like, I'm sorry, I like Jackson Dart, but
Yeah,
he got
those 3 interceptions in 4 plays.
he got 2 mulligans off of 2
Yeah.
interceptions, and then he goes out there and says, "Want to see me do it again?"
Ole Miss is just they're a little bit cursed. Like they're that good team who cannot get over the hump to be elite, get to 11, 12 wins. They're stuck at 8, 9, and 10 wins, and it sucks as an Ole Miss fan. They put a lot into this season on the transfer market and NIL funds, and Lane Kiffin's probably going to leave after this year too, do a better job and more NIL funds himself. So, yeah, Ole Miss fans are probably in the dumps right now.
This Texas A&M Texas game is going to be very consequential.
Yeah, I'm a little bummed it's not on Thursday. I was sort of planning to watch it on the flight, so I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah,
It is what it is. But that's why I'm not as distraught that A&M lost and we don't get this 1 loss versus 2 loss team. Both are in the college football playoff. Well, there still are, so I guess we still get that a little bit.
Would you like to guess
The spread?
the last time? So Texas A&M is currently 8-3.
Yeah.
And for them to get to 10 wins, they would need to win against Texas and then win the SEC championship game, right?
The last time they won 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
20. When was the Manziel season?
You're getting there.
2014 or 15?
2012
Oh,
was the
geez.
Johnny Manziel season.
Yeah, they won the Cotton Bowl against OU.
The last time before 2012 was 1998.
Yeah, so they're a little ahead of schedule.
Yeah. So it's going to be a consequential game. I would obviously I'm going to pull up the spread right now. I'm guessing
It's
Texas
probably
is
Texas 1.5 because Kyle Field is gonna be rocking like it's never rocked in 20 years.
I'll go Texas by 2. Let's see. Whoa.
Is
Texas
A&M
by
favored?
6.
Yeah, I don't know about that because A&M's defense plays different at home.
And it's Texas versus A&M. I mean, this is kind of like Red River.
Be impossible not to be up for this game.
Yeah. First time in 8 years. Come on.
No, like 2011.
Was it 2011?
Justin Tucker kicked the game-winning kick for Texas. So he's played his whole NFL career. No Texas versus Texas A&M games.
Gosh. Because it was whenever they made the jump to the SEC when it stopped, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, 2011. That was our last time in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I do need to point out A&M was the one who did not want to reignite this rivalry until Texas finally wound up in the SEC. And they're like, well, crap, now they're conference game.
Yep. No, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Anything else from the college football world?
Do you want to talk Heisman? Do you want to? Because
Sure.
it's pretty controversial right now, man. And I just look, Travis Hunter. What he's doing is incredible. He's a top 10 receiver in top close to 10 cornerback. But the Heisman goes to the best player at the best position, leading your team to glory, which is exactly what Austin Genty is doing. Who would Boise State or Colorado, if Travis Hunter was out, do you think they could still win a game without him with Sherrod? Like, yeah,
Sanders?
yeah.
Yeah.
Versus if Boise State was missing Genty, that's a 6-win team.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I understand. Okay. I think it's great that the conversation is Genty versus Travis Hunter, and it's not just, okay, is it
Who's the quarterback? Yeah.
Carson Beck or Cam Ward or whatever. Like, this is more fun. I truly think so.
Yeah, more conversation, more debate.
Yeah. I think it's Genty. I understand all the, like, how cool it is that Travis Hunter is doing both. But you're right. Who is more impactful on their team? And the fact that it's a running back is crazy. Yeah. It's absolutely crazy.
And it's like, if you're gonna be more impactful, you'd think you'd be able to help force at least one punt versus Kansas last week.
Kansas,
I know Kansas is up right now. They're actually, they're pretty hot right now. They're getting hot right at the right moments. They might make a bowl game after starting 1-6, but still, make them punt once.
So the last running back to win the Heisman was Derrick Henry in 2015. And in 15 games, because Alabama won the championship, Derrick Henry had 2,219 rushing yards and 28 touchdowns. Okay.
Not bad. But Genty in 10 games.
In 11 games.
11 games. Okay.
Has 2,062 rushing yards and 27 touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. And then these people will bring up, well, he plays for Boise State. They don't play an F or a Power 5 schedule. It's like, okay, do you remember week 3 against Oregon, the number 1 team in the country?
Yeah.
It was 48-45 because of him. Like, they went to overtime because of him. He had like almost, I think, close to
192 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Like, come on. He's proven he can do it. And we're going to see in the playoff too. Like, we're going to get to see it live.
And the thing about him is literally every single opponent is doing everything they can to take him out of the game.
Yeah, they're loading the box, playing man on man, like, and it don't matter.
No, it does not.
Cowboys fans get excited.
Stop.
He wants to
take another first round running back, Alex. I can't do it.
Leighton Vander Esch is his coach. He's grooming him.
I can't do it.
Nah,
I can't do another first round running back.
I think Genty might be.
I can't do it.
He's like that Saquon type. He's just different.
And how many games did the Giants win with Saquon?
How many games have the Eagles won with Saquon?
Did the Eagles draft Saquon?
No, but I mean, you guys don't have a bad offensive line, and that's the key.
There are so
the
many.
Giants never had a good offensive line for Saquon to run behind, and that's why he was always injured.
I love Genty. I really do. But there's a lot of good running backs, and I'd rather get one in the second round than the first.
Yeah, Genty's not getting past the first round. Someone will take him.
I know. And I know it'll be the Cowboys. I'm already like prepared for it. It's gonna be the Cowboys. I know
it's gonna be the Seahawks at like 12 for some reason.
Like, we're gonna have to listen to Jerry Jones mispronounce his name 6 different ways on draft weekend.
if he's still alive.
He's outliving all of us, Alex.
True, he's probably got some pretty good health care.
He's outliving all of us. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, there goes Lamar. Touchdown.
So we both, yeah, Lamar just scored. So we
Double
both feel strongly about Genty over Travis Hunter.
Yeah, and yeah, we'll see. I guess. I mean, it is a pretty exciting Heisman race. Like, there's no clear favorite, and I haven't even checked the odds lately, but I'm guessing Genty's still
It's
probably like the
Travis Hunter is like 7 to
that's not bad.
1, and then Genty is like plus 600. Or I'm sorry, Travis Hunter is like minus 700, and Genty is like plus 600.
Well, that sort of sucks. But
So Vegas has decided it is.
maybe if Colorado loses again, which is very possible.
All right. So Heisman odds, Travis Hunter minus 850, Genty plus 550, Cam Ward
Yeah,
plus 1400.
that's dumb.
I don't know. It's a bummer. All right, let's talk some NFL, shall we?
Let's do it.
This was not just in college, but also in the NFL. This was the week of just the weird results. And so
Yeah.
I want to list off a few to you, and I want to know which was the most surprising. So,
Okay.
Cowboys over the Commanders. Panthers tied with the Chiefs late in the fourth quarter.
Not surprising.
Titans over the Texans. And Bears taking the Vikings to overtime.
I think it's Titans over the Texans.
Yeah.
Like, sort of one because I randomly threw on the pregame like right before the game, all the games started, and they were interviewing Joe Mixon, and they were talking about, hey, you guys ready for this Super Bowl run? Or like, yeah, we're geared up, we're ready to go, buddy. Like, let's do this, yada yada yada, and then boom, the Titans just come out and just match them yard for yard, drive for drive. Will Levis even threw a dumb interception and had a dumb meme, which we can just add that to the catalog, but still somehow found a way to win this game. And the CJ Stroud slump needs to be studied a bit because he's taken not a massive step back, but a pretty big step back from where he was. And maybe he should lay off on the podcast tours and watch some more film and key up his game a little bit more. Just a suggestion. But have you seen their first half and second half point differential? It's pretty staggering.
No, I haven't.
Because they lead, I think they're number one in first half point differential, and then like second half they're bottom 5 or something like that. It's bad.
Jeez.
And that's not a good sign for winning football teams, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, the Texans
they're weird.
I kind of don't think they're a good football team.
Yeah, they might just be a average team that can play up to good every once in a while if everything goes their way.
Like,
their offensive line's trash. The defense is mid. You know, with the trash offensive line, CJ can't really be elite.
So I'm looking at them. What are they? 7-5.
Yeah, they started 5-1. So
they've got one good win, and that was home versus the Bills, 23-20 in week 5.
Yep.
Their other wins: Colts, Bears, Jaguars, Patriots, Colts, and Cowboys. And then their losses are Vikings, Packers, Jets, which is weird, Lions, and now Titans.
Yeah, 2 weird losses and a couple just good teams. But yeah, I mean, they'll be in the playoffs and in the hunt, and maybe by then they'll have something figured out a little bit more, but definitely trending down right now in Houston.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think the Titans over the Texans. I think that's a good pick. I think the Cowboys over the Commanders for me.
Yeah, I would let you take that one. But hey, Cooper Rush. Is Cooper Rush going to play himself into a contract as a starter in a terrible situation?
No.
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 I mean, he's a pretty good backup. Not
He's a
gonna
good
lie.
backup. He's a good backup.
I think in his 2 games, he's got almost 600 yards passing.
Yeah, I mean he's decent. I think you just kind of I don't know, kind of just throw that game away. I know
Yeah,
Washington
yeah.
fans are down bad, but
Yeah, I think they're coming down to earth a little bit. They just started hot. Their easy part of the schedule was the first 8 games, and now reality is settling in a little bit.
yeah. I mean that fourth quarter,
Yeah.
Kevontae Turpin, 99-yard kick return
Off a muffed kick, too.
off a muffed kick. Then, like 2 minutes later, well, so Washington kicks a field goal, so now Washington's down 7. And then they get the ball back, 20 seconds left. One play, 86-yard touchdown pass
Yeah.
to Terry McLaurin.
You thought, oh, classic Cowboys, year from hell. Here we go again. Going to overtime, going to lose.
And then the Cowboys give up another, or the Cowboys score another kick return for a touchdown.
Well, even before that, they missed the extra point, which was historically bad. I think they missed 3 kicks this game, right? 2 field goals and an extra point.
No, they missed 2 extra points and maybe a field goal.
Eek, yeah. I mean, I think that last extra point's not on the kicker. The snap was bad, and the holder just had to sort of grab the ball and just place it. So it wasn't like a clean snap and hold. So
yeah, no, yeah, that makes sense. I just think it was a weird game. I don't think this Cowboys team is good. I've seen some delusional Cowboys fans like plot out the next 4 games on their schedule, and it's like, hey, they're 4-7. They got the Giants, Bengals, Panthers, and Bucks.
Pump the brakes.
Like,
you want to lose the rest of your games as a Cowboys fan.
Absolutely.
To be honest.
Absolutely. They're going to win a couple, but I want them to lose all of them. All of them.
The defense did look good. They were flying around at least. They didn't look dead. They had looked dead for a minute.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I want to talk about the NFC West. Actually, before we get to the NFC West,
okay.
NFC East. Are you a believer
in
the Eagles?
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you be? I mean, I think
the
only reason
the
you
Lions
wouldn't be
in January.
What? Say that again. Sorry.
Can they beat the Lions?
I think I think they can if they get into a slugfest type of game. I don't know if their secondary is that good where it turns into a shootout and the running game is almost just taken out of it. Because the key for the Eagles is Saquon and short yardage 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s for the tush push. Like that's the key. They're a running team first. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
So if the Lions get the ball first and just get out to an early lead and it turns into like we're always down at least 7, then yeah, they might be in trouble.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
And there's always a concern that Nick Sirianni just coaches a crap game. Yeah.
For me, that's what's holding me back.
Yeah, it's holding me back, but they do have just abundant amount of talent on both sides of the ball, which is what is making me a believer.
Yeah. For me, it's not even just a Nick Sirianni thing. Maybe it's the Cowboy in me, but
yeah.
I've seen Kellen Moore turn into a pumpkin in the playoffs.
That's true.
So I think the Eagles fans are going to want to just kind of like brush off any coaching concerns, which.
Well, they have to. Yeah, they have to. But yeah.
Coaching is such a big deal in the playoffs.
Yeah, and Dan Campbell is the type of coach that can just eat you alive.
Exactly.
Because he's going to be so aggressive, and you're going to think you can counter it, and then you make a mistake, and then you're just screwed.
Yeah, and like I know they just lost Brandon Graham after the Sunday night game.
Oh,
Who
they
he was,
did?
yeah,
That is a tough loss. He's a pretty good D tackle. Fills
yeah.
up the middle pretty
So
well.
he's out for the season.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I
Torn,
did not
torn
know that.
pec, I think.
Ouch.
Hold
That
on, let me.
sucks.
Yeah, Brandon Graham. Yeah, or no, he's tore his tricep. Tore his tricep.
Still sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like, yeah, dominating that game against the Rams is impressive.
It is, yeah.
Like, I'm gonna say that it's impressive, but it is a lot easier to contain Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp when the Rams offensive line is just a turnstile 1-5.
Yeah, and Matthew Stafford has no escapability left in him too, so just makes
Like,
that point even worse.
I don't know. My takeaway, and they like Collinsworth and Tirico, they got into a little bit on the broadcast, but my biggest takeaway from that Sunday night game was just Matthew Stafford had no time to throw.
Yeah, and then he's still balled out. I mean, shout out to Stafford, but
He was doing everything he could. I want to actually look. Okay, time to throw. Matthew Stafford. Hold on. So
probably
in
under
that
200
game,
seconds.
he had a time to throw of 2.59.
It's a little bit under the league average, probably, right? Close to 3 seconds, I
It was
guess.
his third quickest time to throw of the season for Stafford. Which second quickest was actually last week against the Patriots, 2.57, and then his quickest was week 7 against Las Vegas at 2.24. So he had no time.
Yeah.
He was sacked
He
5
had no time,
times,
but he did what he could. Yeah.
which was a season high. He was pressured 12 times. It was rough. It was bad. So, and that's where I'm concerned with the Eagles because, yes, I think they're a good football team, but I do think if you can protect at a above league average level, a good offense can pick them apart.
No, yeah, I agree. As a Seahawks fan who's looking at the crappy NFC West and hoping to host a playoff game, I would rather host the Eagles at any of the NFC North teams in a heartbeat. It's
You'd
not
rather
even a
host the
question.
Eagles over the Vikings or the Packers, is what you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, and we're gonna play the Vikings and the Packers coming up, so yeah.
Got it. Got it. Okay. I mean,
Maybe the Vikings have a really good defense, though. Is my only
yeah.
and defense, but it is the Sam Darnold thing. I think our defense can make Sam Darnold's life hell, but at the same time, the Seahawks also have really good luck against the Eagles lately and Nick Sirianni.
That's true.
But it is Mike McDonald. But at the same
Yeah.
time, he's been given hell to teams lately with his defensive schemes. So I mean, I'll take whoever we get
Yeah.
as long as we host the playoff game, whatever.
Yeah. So let's talk the NFC West then.
Let's do
Can you
it.
try to explain what's going on?
Well, yeah, I can. One, the Seahawks lost to the Giants, which is one just how did that happen? I don't even want to talk about that game. One, we should be 7-5 right now, but we should also be 8-4 right now because we took the Rams to overtime, but we shouldn't even take them in the overtime. We just made a bunch of stupid mistakes during our 4-game losing streak, and I think that's why it's really closer than it needs to be. But the Seahawks have a chance to recommend those mistakes and go ahead and just take care of business because they got the Jets this weekend. And I don't even know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be starting this game or not. And I'm not even going to watch it because I'm going to try and watch it because I'll be in Italy, but it's a noon kickoff, which is 7 o'clock in Italy.
Okay.
So we're gonna I'll probably end up watching it on crack stream on my phone. But we're gonna try and peruse the bar scene, see if there's maybe a bar that randomly has American football on, but probably not. But then after the Jets, we play the Cardinals again, who we beat this week, and that's pretty much who we're battling with the division for right now. Like the Rams just lost. I know they have a pretty tough schedule. The 49ers are injured and probably done. They play the Bills this weekend. They're probably going to lose. They're probably going to be 5-7, and I don't even know if Brock Purdy's going to play that game too. So it's looking rough in 49er land. I do want to make one comparison though that needs to be made. Geno Smith is 2022 Jameis Winston. 30 for 30. He's not going to get 30 for 30, but he leads the league in passing yards and attempts and all that. And he also leads the league in interceptions. He has 12 touchdowns and 12 interceptions in 11 games. So I don't think 30 for 30 is in range, but 20 for 20.
I was about to say 20 for 20, maybe?
20 for, maybe. I mean, I hope not. I hope Geno can stop making that one just dumb. It's usually when he's running and he doesn't want to actually run and he just throws it and then boom, it just chaos happens. But
Yeah.
if he can clean that up in the way the defense is playing right now, I truly believe the Seahawks can be in a game with anybody in the NFC, even the Lions. Like we played the Lions earlier this year and we were in that game for about a quarter and a half and then we just made a couple dumb mistakes. The Lions capitalized on them and then it was just over from there. But
that's really funny, the Jameis Winston comparison.
yeah, it's a roller
I
coaster ride with
I
Geno.
love that. I
Because
love that.
he looks so stellar for moments, and then other moments he just makes stupid little Geno mistakes.
I want like these, analytics companies coming up with all these advanced stats, whatever. There needs to be a like weighted interception statistic.
Yeah, I agree. Like how interceptable the pass was, you mean? Something like that?
Well, not even so. Yes, have that in there. Oh crap! J.K. Dobbins just went into the locker room.
Yeah.
No, he's been so
He
good
was
this year.
walking okay though.
He was.
He wasn't on a cart or anything. That's a good sign.
I just want him to be okay because I love J.K. Dobbins, and it's been cool to see him.
Yeah, he probably just won it. Halftime's in a minute. He's just getting a breather.
Okay, all right. I hope you're right.
Me too.
But anyways, there needs to be like you need to judge an interception based off of how catchable was it by the defender. But then you also need to judge it based off of like where you are in the game, where you are on the field. Like, is it a touchdown in the end zone or is it a 3rd and 20, Hail Mary that's basically a punt? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I want to figure out who's throwing the most impactful interceptions, if that makes sense.
And really, like, was the route even open or were you just praying 50-50 balls? Stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want someone to try to figure out because, I mean, it's you can call it the Levis, like you can name it after whoever you want to, but it's like who is throwing just the most back-breaking interceptions, right? Versus, who's throwing interceptions that are just
Hey,
they're fine.
let me make one more point because a co-host on this podcast made a comment earlier this NFL season that Jackson Smith and Jigba was trending on becoming a bust. And I think ever since then, he's had close to 600 yards in 3 or 4 games. He's 7th in the league in receiving yards right now, and JSN has arrived, folks. He's
Who
not.
said that?
I think it was. I know it was Rosie. which,
It was Rosie. Okay.
and I believe my exact response was, "Give it time. Receivers take a little bit longer usually," and immediately here he is. He's not your typical 6'4" freak gonna catch all the jump balls. He is more the yards after the catch type of guy. Like if you he is deadly in the screen game, and not like your typical running back screen, like maybe 2 yards past the line where everybody's sort of up and he's in the middle of the field. He catches that and then he has a lane. He sees it. Boom. He's gone. And as a DK Metcalf fancy hunter too, he is taking a lot of passes away from DK. Tyler Lockett is just gone. Get rid of Tyler Lockett for anything at this point. He's just he's on his retirement tour. He's our third
Yeah.
wide receiver, and he might pop up every now and then when we need a clutch catch or something like that. But yeah. JSN, as a Seahawks fan, I'm going to say it right now, is our wide receiver number one, and he's balling.
His last 3 games, he has 23 receptions for 367 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, him and Grubbs have found something in the offensive play calling and just the way to unlock him. Like they've even running decoys in the end zone where he caught his touchdown, where DK took most of the corner help and safety help, and then he was just in the flat against a linebacker, and it was just take from there.
Just over. All right, so I want to get to the Thanksgiving draft, but before we do, Arizona and the Rams. What do you think as far as the NFC West? Because I think Arizona is actually a pretty good football team. I know they looked rough against Seattle, but I think they're actually decent.
Yeah. Do you have their next couple games? Like I know Arizona plays us not this week, but actually Arizona. I know Arizona plays Minnesota this week, and then us. So that is a pretty tough little gauntlet.
Minnesota, Seattle, New England, Carolina, Rams, and Niners.
Okay, so yeah, if they can squeak a win against Minnesota or Seattle in those next 2 games, and they have 2 easy games, they're going to be right in it. But if they lose to Minnesota and Seattle, it's over.
Yeah, you need to beat Carolina and New England.
Yeah,
and then you need to win. You need to go 500 against Minnesota, Seattle, Rams, and Niners.
Yeah, and I
think that would put them
by
at
the time they play the
7.
Niners might just be sort of tanking, so that might almost be a must-win too. They've already beat the Niners once this season.
Yeah, that is week 18, so you might be right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I want to look at the NFC playoffs. It's going to be really interesting to see how many, basically, because I think honestly how it's going to shake out is, well, no, if you look at it, I think we are going to get 3 NFC North teams in the playoffs. So then it comes down to, is that final wild card going to be Washington, or is it going to be the second place team in the NFC North?
It depends.
We'll see.
How hard is Washington's remaining schedule?
They've got Titans, Saints, Eagles, Falcons, Cowboys.
I think they might be able to get that last seed. A couple of those teams are bad.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting down the stretch. All right, anything else before our draft?
I get one more team to watch down the stretch in the NFC.
Okay,
it's the Bucks. I know they were playing the Giants this week, but they actually have the worst, like strength of schedule wise. They have the easiest schedule left in the NFC. I think their win percentage for the rest of the way is like 33% or something. It's bad. And I think that's how it set it up last year too. So they're going to get Godwin back pretty soon. They already got Evans back. Baker looked pretty good. They're going to go on another run and be a wild
Tampa
card.
Bay has the 30th easiest strength of schedule remaining at a opponent opponent win percentage of 354.
Yeah, those other 2 teams are in the AFC too, so Tampa Bay is geared up for a run if everything works out.
They are,
And
man.
I don't
Their
think
only tough opponent is the Chargers. That's it.
and I think the division is still somewhat in reach if the Falcons keep losing games.
Oh, it definitely is. The Falcons are 6-5. The Bucks are 5-6.
Yeah, the only thing is I think the Falcons are 2-0 against the Bucks, so they would have to leap
They'd
them
have
by
to absolutely,
yeah,
they'd have to leap
yeah.
them. They couldn't tie. But the Falcons. Okay, let's look at what's their strength of schedule remaining. They're 24th, so not that much better. But they do play the Vikings, Chargers,
Ooh,
and Commanders.
Falcons. That's going to be a good game though. Falcons, Vikings, Kurt coming back.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna do a Thanksgiving draft. How we're gonna do it, and Alex, you can scroll down in the outline, and you can see the little table here.
Okay.
How we're gonna do it is we each get 6 picks. The categories for these 6 picks is 1 meat, 3 sides, 1 dessert, and then 1 wild card. And you can draft them in whatever order you want. You can go all 3 sides first. You can go meat first, whatever you want to do. But we're trying to kind of build the best Thanksgiving meal, so to speak.
Okay.
We won't go snake draft style. We'll just go back and forth because there's 2 of us. You can go first. So you'll pick first, I'll pick second, so on and so forth.
Right.
What are you taking first? First off the board.
Stuffing, easy.
Oh,
It's just the perfect side with turkey. You sort of get that gravy in there, mix it in with everything on the plate. And it's just the perfect exclamation point to any bite. Give me stuffing.
so stuffing as a side, not a wild card, right?
Yeah, as a side. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Becca's family her mom makes this bomb stuffing.
Yeah.
And Becca started to make it for like my families too. And it's got like sausage in it
Is it
and
their
like
own recipe?
sage. Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
It
So
is delicious. It is so good. I get it twice this year because she started to make it for my family, and I'm very,
hey.
very excited.
Great.
Stuffing's a great pick. Great pick. Okay. So you took stuffing first. I'm gonna go mashed potatoes. I'm gonna go mashed potatoes as a side. It's a
Yeah, can't beat
staple.
that.
You
Oh
can't
yeah.
do Thanksgiving without it. It's it's the thing that if there's a side that gets cleaned out, it's mashed potatoes.
Yeah, especially with that gravy. Gotta get the good gravy.
Special,
But
yeah. Are you a brown gravy or a white gravy guy on Thanksgiving?
brown.
I
Yeah, I
am
think
too.
I go brown. Yeah.
I think I'm typically
White has
white.
its moments though. White's not bad.
I think I'm more white gravy year round, but Thanksgiving, I want the brown gravy.
Yeah, white's a little bit better with chicken.
Yeah. Or like a good like chicken fried steak. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm taking mashed potatoes as a side. So now it's back over to you.
I'm just gonna go turkey. Just give me the plain old. Take it before. Does that mean you can't take turkey or?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, just plain old fashioned turkey, smoked. Probably preferred nice and crispy. That good crisp skin is probably the best part. And I'm a turkey leg guy myself. I don't know about you, but I like the big turkey leg.
Yeah. I like turkey when it's done right. I think turkey
Yeah,
has
it can
a
be.
really, really low floor.
Yeah, you can get it dried pretty easily.
Dry turkey, no bueno. But if it's
No.
still moist and everything, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, and it's almost better like right after Thanksgiving too for the sandwiches and stuff. It's gotten this chance to sit in the fridge and get a little bit more moist. Get some ranch on
Oh,
there. Yeah.
yeah. That we're gonna need to clarify because if by taking turkey you also get like the Friday
Yeah, I get
turkey
all the
sandwiches,
leftovers.
that doesn't
Yeah.
that's not fair because that's better than the turkey on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, can be.
Oh, love those turkey sandwiches. All right. Well, I can kind of sit on meat then because you just took turkey off the board. So that's fine by me. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna take my favorite dessert.
Okay.
I would have it year round if I could, but I just love this thing. Apple pie. Apple pie. Anything apple flavored. This is the season for it. The
Yeah, nice
fall.
and toasty, a little whipped
Mm,
cream.
love apple pie. Love it. Love it. Love it. So I'm gonna snag that, and I'm gonna not look back.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and just take mac and cheese. Mac and cheese can be, I mean, that's a year-round dish, yeah, but it can be underrated because people get a little spicy with the mac and cheese on Thanksgiving. Like, you can throw in bacon bits,
Mm-hmm.
extra cheese, like, just make it cheesy, man. Mac and cheese, can't go wrong.
Okay.
Uh,
I like the mac and cheese. I think you're winning the vote so far when we put out the poll.
Yeah, not very
Turkey
healthy,
stuffing and
though.
mac and cheese. You're feeling good so far. Um, gosh, how do I want to play this? All right. I'm gonna go rolls as a side.
Okay.
Very versatile, you know. You can do the butter rolls. You could
Mhm.
do those the almost like the Texas Roadhouse rolls. Like there's
Yeah, a little Italian bread,
little Italian bread with yeah, exactly.
baguette, yeah.
So I'll take rolls. And honestly, I think one of the best things about the rolls on Thanksgiving is just dipping them in everything. Dip
Yeah.
them in the gravy, dip them in the mashed potatoes, dip them in the casseroles. Just get it
Anything.
all the juices. Fantastic.
Okay. And on that note, I think I'm gonna take green bean casserole. That mix it in with a little cheese, bacon bits itself, and then sort of sear the green beans where they have a little crunch. Can't go wrong. Get your greens
Okay.
in.
So that's your third side. So you still
Three
need a
sides.
dessert and a wild card.
Okay.
Um,
Perfect.
all right. I'm gonna take hmm. All right. I'm gonna take this as I think it's technically gonna be my wild card.
Okay.
Um, cranberry sauce. I know some people
Cranberry.
don't
It's like a
like.
traditional Thanksgiving thing, though. You sure it's for your wild card?
Well, wild card could be anything.
Yeah, I guess.
Like you can pick another side and have that be your wild card. You could pick a dessert and have that as your wild card. Like you can.
Okay.
It's a yeah.
Anyways, continue.
Um, do you like cranberry sauce?
On Thanksgiving, I can muscle it. Like it's not something I'm craving year round, but around Thanksgiving, it sort of just meshes in with all the flavors and whatnot.
I think so too. And I think it's not something you eat year round, but like the Thanksgiving Christmas season, I feel like it just
Yeah,
fits. It's just a part of it, right? Like put a
yeah,
little
it's a
bit on your
good
turkey, put a
cherry on
little bit in
top.
your mashed potatoes, dip your roll in it, eat it straight with a spoon. Like it adds just
Yeah,
such
it's a good
flavor.
table topper. Like it's there, and it's like, oh, cool.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go cranberry sauce, and I like it all. I like either the homemade, I like the Jello out of the can, just all of it. Give it all to
Yeah.
me.
All right. I'm gonna go with my dessert here. I'm gonna go pecan pie, a little
I thought
whipped
about that.
cream, nice and toasty, and then a little vanilla ice cream too. It's to die for. I like it more than pumpkin pie and apple pie personally. I think pecan's probably my number one pie.
Yeah. I thought really hard about pecan pie because I feel like that's more of the crowd favorite. I had to go with my heart. But pecan pie is
No, yeah, I
number
mean
2.
apple's not a bad choice.
Yeah.
Folks will
It's
still.
number 2 for me. I love it as well. So I like it. All right. Um I guess I'll grab my
Do you need a meat
side.
still?
Yeah, I'll do meat at the end.
Okay.
Unless you're going to screw me by using your wild card on another meat, maybe. Maybe I should grab it. Okay, I'll go ahead and grab it. I'll take ham as a
Yeah.
meat. I am actually one of the people who I like ham more than turkey on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's got a much higher floor, and I think the ceiling is just as high. And um, yeah, I love ham. Turkey sandwiches over ham sandwiches, but the ham on Thanksgiving as a part of the meal, give it to me all
Yeah.
day. Mix it in with the mac and cheese, have a little ham mac and cheese action. Mm.
Mm.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah. I've always been a ham on a Christmas Eve, Christmas type of family, but you can't go wrong with ham.
Yeah. Okay. Over to you for your wild card.
All right. I think my wild card, I am going meat, but I'm going for if your family's just sort of a little bit more well off, maybe they're just like tired of turkey and they just go smoked brisket. Whatever.
Smoked
Let's just
brisket.
bring in the 200 cut piece of prime beef smoked for like 12 hours.
All
We didn't do
right.
that for Thanksgiving, but my stepdad did that once for Christmas Eve, and it was phenomenal. And I was like, yeah, this is better than Thanksgiving
This is how the
turkey.
other side lives. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I like it. Smoked brisket. For my final pick, my side, my final side, I'm gonna go sweet potato casserole.
Yeah. Don't you guys have a recipe for that, right? I think you sent me that once.
Do we? We have a hash brown casserole,
Oh, yeah.
which
Mixed up the
I'm
casserole.
really regretting not taking that. Um, I think the hash brown casserole is more unique to my family, but the sweet potato casserole, that's something that like I wasn't a big fan of as a kid, but as an adult, like I love it with like the marshmallow sauce on top, and you like sprinkle in the pecans like with it. It
Mhm.
just hits, man. It's really good.
Yeah.
So,
It's
all
a nice
right.
little sweet. Yeah.
To
Dad
summarize,
joke. Oh,
well, to summarize, and then we'll put it out
oh,
on social media for people to vote.
of
Uh,
course.
you've got turkey as your meat, followed by stuffing, mac and cheese, and green bean casserole as your sides, pecan
Love it.
pie as your dessert, and smoked brisket as a wild card.
Lots of
I've
meat.
got ham as a meat, mashed potatoes, rolls, and sweet potato casserole as sides, apple pie as a dessert, and cranberry sauce as my wild card. So that's our Thanksgiving meals. Can't
They
wait.
both sound delicious. Not gonna lie.
Can't wait. Can't wait. All right. Dad joke of the week. You were hinting at it. Let's get that pulled up here. I own a belt made entirely of $100 bills.
Oh yeah.
It's a waste of money.
that I like that one. That's
Yeah.
yeah. It's a
All
waste of
right.
money. Yeah.
Well, that will do it for this week's episode of Making the Call. Thank you, of course, to Alex for being on this week. Thank you to everyone who tuned in on the YouTube or is watching us in video form on Spotify or listening to us on Apple or wherever you get your podcasts. I hope everyone has an amazing Thanksgiving. Feel free, we are giving you permission. Take a nap during that Cowboys Giants game. That's the
Please.
perfect nap window. Eat your Thanksgiving food, have a little power nap, wake up for the nightcap. Just do it. Trust me. It'll be worth it. Have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the food. Enjoy just relaxation, family time, all that good stuff. We'll be back next week recapping all the action from the NFL, all the craziness from rivalry week for college football, and everything else that we're going to want to discuss. So, again, happy Thanksgiving from all of us at Making the Call. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time.
Nice.
Boom.
All right.
Well, enjoy Italy, my friend. I'm excited to hear about it.